All right, folks, we're going to go right to questions. Front row right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ron, how surprised were you by the offensive struggles? How much did Jackson, his absence affect things?
I refuse to answer that question right off the bat. We just beat the number 5 team in the country by 11 points. And when really when you look at the last 4 teams that we played, I think all 4 teams were in the top 10. And this is a top 5 team. It's not easy to do. It's hard. And we just beat the number 5 team in the country by 11 points. And I couldn't be any prouder of our team and the way that our team played, especially in the fourth quarter. A lot of people question our toughness going into the offseason. Well, I mean, you have to watch the film and you make your decisions if you thought that team was tough tonight. And for us to win the way we did, I couldn't be any prouder. And we lost Jackson early on, and it was a struggle. Their game plan was to kind of hold on to the ball and control the game, and so there wasn't as many possessions, and we missed on a few things early, got off schedule. But to be able to get the run game going in that last quarter, man, says a lot about our team. And C.J. Stroud was right well in front of that, made some huge plays down the stretch. And I think you can see who C.J. wants to be. It isn't that he wants to go out there and have, all these yards and everything like that. That's not important to him. What's important is winning. And he's a winner. And to see him play like that and then see the offensive line and those guys run. But the story of the night was the defense. To turn around after what's been said about them in the offseason, questioning their toughness and play the way they did against a number 5 team in the country, I'm proud of our guys. And if we can continue to win games like that, then that's how we'll win games. And when you can win different ways, it says a lot about your team as well. And I think this game is going to pay dividends down the road. Now I'll answer that question. Yeah, it was a struggle early on. They're a good defense. They have a lot of seniors. And when we lost Jackson, we got a little bit out of rhythm. Didn't convert on third down. Got a little off schedule there with a couple of things, a couple of penalties that we got to clean up. But early games were a little bit clunky. And, again, losing Jackson kind of threw us off a little bit, and we had to respond. And how about Xavier Johnson showing up in a big way, making that catch, and then coming back the next play and running down on kickoff and making a tackle inside the 20-yard line. And again, we're playing a top 5 team in the country tonight, and they're a very good team, and a lot of respect for them.
We'll go over to the left. Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, just one more on the receivers. In losing Jackson, I think it was more on Emeka and Marvin, and obviously that group to kind of show up a little bit. How have you seen just the chemistry with CJ kind of build over these last 9 months, and do you think it's where it needs to be, or is it still kind of a work in progress?
No, I think certainly CJ and Jackson have a great rapport and chemistry, but no, I mean he and Mecca and then Marv as well. We also didn't have Julian tonight. He was a game time decision. We couldn't quite get him going, so we were down some guys there. I thought the tight ends played well. Seeing Cade step in there, the running backs ran hard, the offensive line was strong. So, we didn't have as many possessions. I'm not sure exactly what the number of plays were. I guess we ended up with 69 down the stretch, but didn't seem like there was as many possessions. But we did have the time of possession at the end, 32 minutes, and we ended up being 7 of 13 on third down. So, I guess it all balanced out in the end, but it did seem like a struggle early on.
Over here to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals.
Ryan, before you watch the film, what do you think that the most impressive part of this defensive effort was tonight? You had to make a lot of changes. You were aggressive about that in the offseason. Is this match what you wanted, and what do you think was the best part of it tonight?
The 10 points. Yeah, I mean, for them to stop Notre Dame to 10 points, and I guess total yards was 253. Rushing yard 76. Yeah, I mean, I think it was the front guys running to the ball. I think you just saw what I was talking about leading into the game. Just energy, running to the ball, being decisive, playing fast. If they gave up a big play, it wasn't a panic. It wasn't like, oh my God, the world's coming into an end. They just keep fighting. Like the first play was, we brought a corner blitz, we missed a tackle, we hung in there, and then forced them to a field goal. There was no panic there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe last year we would have kind of put our heads down, but we didn't. I thought we played tough. I thought the energy was off the chart on defense tonight, and proud of our guys. Jim called a great game, the whole defensive staff, but it was our players. The players play, and they do. They have something to prove. We all have something to prove, and I think they proved that they can be tough. Now, we got a long way to go. We got a lot to build on. We got a lot to improve on, But for a first game, there's not a lot of first games where you play a top 5 team in the country right out of the gates. And I'm glad we played them at home because this crowd was awesome. And to see the support of Buckeye Nation for this game, leading up to this game, all the former players that came back, it was tremendous to see all the people come to this game with such energy and be here early. I mean, the whole shoe was packed, and we were just coming out for warm-ups. And that says so much for our kids, and we can't thank Buckeye Nation and the fans and appreciate all the people that came to this game. It meant a lot to us.
Over to the left, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Hey, first of all, just quickly, do you have any indication yet how long this could be with Jackson or Julian?
We're going to evaluate them. We're hoping to get them back this week. Yeah.
And you mentioned getting the running game going in the fourth quarter, but early on in the game there was a pretty stark imbalance the other way. So I guess just what were you seeing as the guy calling those plays that led to that dynamic?
Well, I felt like we just were kind of out of rhythm. We just couldn't quite put 2 plays together and then convert on third down. It wasn't going very well, and we missed a couple things early on, and probably went away to the run a little bit early on. I think we were doing okay in the run game. Just statistically, I looked up at one point, we were averaging, I think, 5 yards a carry, and so that was working. And they had nickel in the game, so they had more DBs in the game, and we had to rely on the run, and that's okay. And I could see more teams trying to do that where they force you to run the ball. They kind of want to control the clock and keep our offense off the field. And if we're able to win like this, then we can win different ways. Then that's going to help us out down the road.
We're going to go over here to the right, Tom Archdeacon, Dayton Daily News.
That, Jer?
Easy for you to say. Ryan, yeah, just a little more on Xavier Johnson, the way he's kind of stayed the course for you all these years and has a shining moment.
Xavier Johnson practices every day. Xavier Johnson really cut his teeth on special teams. He's kind of a throwback player. And for him to come in and play in that moment in this game right here, I just couldn't be happier for him, because it goes to show you that good things happen to good people who work hard. And that's exactly who Xavier Johnson is. And he was a walk-on. He earned a scholarship. And, he's really grown into a really good football player. And, we trusted putting him in the game, and look what happened. So very happy for him. Well-deserved.
We're going to go over here to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
That was a grinded-out win, and I can't remember the last time you won grinding out. Is there special satisfaction in that? And you had never been accused of being conservative. So what's your takeaway from winning a game that's very un-Ryan Day-ish?
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because we have to be able to win that way. We do. We have to find ways to win like that, because there's going to be games, certainly in the Big Ten, like that. Notre Dame's kind of built like some of the Big Ten teams we play. And so, for teams that want to run the ball and then, eat up the clock and keep the offense off the field, and we have to run the ball in those moments like we did, we had to do that. And that was something that we spent a lot of time on the offseason saying we have to be able to win ugly on offense, and we have to stop the run on defense. And that's what happened tonight. And so, they all count the same. And you have to figure out, based on who you're going in, how do you want to win that game? And when you have that versatility, man, it's going to pay off down the road. And so this is a huge start for us. A lot to improve on, a lot to build on, but proud of our team. And again, I'll go back to CJ, because he was the happiest guy out there. And maybe it wasn't his perfect night, and everyone wants to talk about the Heisman Trophy and all that. He just wanted to go 1-0, and he did, and made some big-time throws. I mean, scrambling around, it wasn't pretty. Made the huge throw to X, and that was zero pressure off his back foot. And again, it wasn't perfect. It's not the way we drew it up, but we won. We were 1-0. And if we can continue to build like that and grow, and the defense plays the way it does, then watch out.
We're going to have 2 more questions for Coach over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
Ryan, was that toughness evidenced by Mayan Williams? You guys call him pork chop. I mean, on that game-clinching drive, he became a bull. Is that part of the toughness that CJ just told a national audience? We're a tough team.
Well, we wanted to be known as something other than just talented, and I hope that showed tonight. That we can be. Now we have to continue to prove it. But yeah, I mean, the way Mayan ran, the way that Travion ran too in that last drive. I mean, they were running hard. They were determined. They were in that huddle saying, everything we've worked on, this is where we have to finish the game off right now, and they did it. So again, was it perfect? No, but I didn't expect it to be. First game, things like this kind of happen, and we have to kind of recalibrate a little bit and make some adjustments, but we will. Yeah, mine had a really good preseason. I think I mentioned that before, and so to see him run like this was great for him. I don't know how many yards he ended up with. I guess 84. Those were 84 hard-earned yards. And he made the big catch too, didn't he? Yeah, I mean that was a huge play on a scramble, and well, happy for mine.
And final question over to the left, Doug Lesmaurice, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, this is just along the lines of everything you've been saying with the toughness and the way you guys ran it late. I might phrase this wrong, but you guys have thrown it so well since you got here. And I know it's not easy. Sometimes it looks easy.
Sure.
You have super skilled receivers and a super skilled quarterback. You talk about winning ugly. Like, are you almost eager? I don't know if it's to shed that label or remind people or like what? Not that it's a burden to be great at throwing the ball, but it feels like you're really enjoying the fact that you won this way.
Yes. Yeah, because we can. And it's been a huge emphasis to win this way. And it starts with defense. And when you can play really good, strong defense like we played tonight, and we can run the football, we know we'll be able to throw the ball. We know that. But if we want to go where we need to be and reach our goals, we're going to have to do those two things. And tonight we did it.
Great.
So, yeah.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we've got 6 players ready to go. We're going to bring 3 in right now for about 7 minutes or so. We're going to open up questions with Bill Landis over here from Rivals. I'll take the first 3 players, guys. All right, to your far right is Emeka Abuka. In the middle, Lathan Ransom. And to your far left, Tommy Eichenberg. We'll open it up over here. Bill Landis, Rivals.
Lathan, is that, I guess Lathan and Tommy can both answer this, but in terms of showing people what this defense is capable of this season, is that about as good as you could have asked for in an opener?
Yeah, we got a lot to prove, and everyone just played well. Extremely confident too, so that was a big part.
Over here to the left, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, for Mecca, just did you have an expectation that you were going to have this kind of a night? And obviously, you're down a couple guys, down 3 guys after Jackson goes out because Julian didn't play and Cameron Babb wasn't available. Just everybody else had to step up.
I mean, yeah, we really had no expectations going into the game. The only expectation was to win, and we were able to do that tonight. It's not always pretty, but it's only week 1. We're going to build from here, and we're going to be something special.
Your touchdown, barreling it, taking the guy with you to the end zone, just losing the guy in the flat, and then taking the other guy to the end zone. Just what was going on that play?
Just a perfect ball, really. I mean, you can't really ask much more from CJ. Everyone knows how great of a quarterback he is, and he was able to deliver it on my outside shoulder, and by the time I turned up, no one was there.
Over here to the right, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Mecca, Xavier Johnson, your thoughts on what he did today, stepping in for JSN and all those?
I love X, man. That's my guy. He's my roommate, actually, for those of y'all that didn't know. But, I mean, we've been seeing it all fall camp, all last spring. X has really, turned another gear. And it's been hard for him just moving position rooms all the time. But he finally got comfortable at receiver, and you guys saw what he was able to do tonight. He had a great game.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, also for Emeka, I mean, just to follow up on that, with Jackson going out of a game tonight and the rest of you guys kind of having to step up, I mean, do you think that's something that helps you guys going forward, that, you guys did kind of have to manage without having him out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Jackson is a phenomenal player, and it's definitely a help having him. But once again, I feel we're the best wide receiver room in America, so anyone you put on the field is going to be able to execute their plays down to the T, and everyone who stepped on the field tonight played great.
Over here to the right, Justin Holbrook, WCMH.
For Lathan, a lot of people question your toughness this offseason. You guys come out and get a shutout in the second half. Just what do you think you showed the country tonight, and specifically the defensive backs, of taking over after giving up a big play to start the game?
Yeah, I felt that all summer. That's one thing that we worked on a lot, and that's one thing that we had in the back of our mind. We were called soft all last year, and we had to sit there and just eat it, and couldn't wait to play against Notre Dame and show what our defense is really about.
I'll go over here to the far left, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Tommy, can you speak a little bit to the performance of Mike Hall and just what he brought to this defense tonight and how it might have set the tone a little bit?
Yeah, Mike, played really hard. I mean, when a guy like Mike plays like that, it just helps the linebackers out. trusts on the run and also helps in the pass too. I mean, he just played really hard.
We'll go over here to the right. Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Question for Lathan and for Emeka. Can you guys take us in the locker room at halftime? Give us the idea of how calm or intense those conversations were after a first half that maybe wasn't perfectly smooth, but you were certainly still in the game.
I don't want to speak for Lathan, but going into halftime, I had absolutely no worries. I knew we were going to win the game. That's just the type of team we are. And, we're calm, collected. We knew we had some mistakes in the first half that we needed to get corrected. It ended up being a dogfight, and we were able to capitalize in the second half and especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I felt that the leadership really showed, kept the whole locker room calm, cool, and collected, and made the adjustments that we needed to make at half and went out there and really played well.
Last question for this trio, front row, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Lathan, I don't think you were on the field in that first series against Notre Dame. Maybe I'm wrong, but the first play goes right out of the gate, and the crowd kind of did a big ooh or whatever. What did you guys just really buckle down after that? Obviously, holding them to a field goal was huge. And Tommy, you can express what you thought about the turnaround from that moment.
Yeah, I felt that the defense that showed a lot about the defense. A big play, turned around, held them to a field goal, and we never lost our cool. We never freaked out, never pointed fingers, and just we're a team. We're a team. The defense is a team. We're all one, and it really showed that.
Yeah, we got a next play is the most important play mentality. So, things happen, and we just rebite and keep playing.
And do you, Tommy, especially, do y'all feel different this year compared to last year? I know, we were taking some shots about soft, whatever, but people were talking about that. But what just feels different to you about this defense?
I'd say just the confidence with everyone.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to go to the left, and we're going to start out with Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com. If I can get the, hey, gentlemen, thank you very much. And the next three players. Is it going? Yes. All right. All right. I'm just holding it. We're going to open up with questions over here. Doug Lesmerises to the left, Cleveland.com.
CJ, Coach Day was talking about this. We know you guys can throw the ball. We've seen it, but he seemed really excited that you won a game like this with defense and running the ball. As the quarterback, what did you think of this performance, and do you think this is good for the team to win a game sort of this way?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want to thank God, man, for just having the opportunity to come out there with my brothers and, showcasing our talent. I got to just start there. But, yeah, like you said, man, the defense and running the ball won this game. But I do think in the past game when we really needed it, we were efficient. We were struggling early on, just trying to get a connection, trying to build that rhythm. But, towards the end, as we kept going, we started to get it, started clicking more. So just me thinking about the game, we're playing the number 5 team in the country first game. First games are always kind of weird. It's kind of weird being out there again, to be honest, just like seeing the fans, dealing with all the outside noise, just trying to lock in. So at the end of the day, I feel like at the end of the day, we got the win, and we're blessed to be 1-0.
And press, need to remind you that we have Michael Hall to your right, obviously C.J. Stroud in the center, and Xavier Johnson to your left. Over here to the right, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, real quick, C.J., in 100 words or less, who is Xavier Johnson? A lot of people are discovering him for the first time tonight. And then Xavier, who are you from the standpoint of waiting your turn and finally getting a shot? But go ahead, C.J.
Yeah, Xavier Johnson is a dog. First of all, he's a man of God. He's one of the people who kind of keep me honest in my faith with Christ. And that just shows you how hard of a worker he is, man. He was one of the first people to take me under his wing when I first got to school, and he's always been a hard worker, man. He's kind of crazy in the weight room, and he works really, really hard. Like, if y'all seen him, man, you would think that the man is animal. So, but he's a hell of a ball player, as y'all can see. So,
over to the far left, Stephen. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Xavier.
I would just kind of starting with what he said. I'm a man of God, man. That's literally my strength. So even going into the situation, I knew that it was a big situation. You're coming in the field, the best receiver in the country's shoes. And I knew that in myself, in my flesh, I didn't have enough in me. So it was a prayer, honestly, and I was transparent with the Lord and just kind of told him, like, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I need your strength. And the Lord gave me his strength. So like what he said, like in the weight room, all that stuff, I do it for all for the glory of God, man. So I'm gonna say that's who Xavier is. He's a man of God who is trying to bring glory to the Lord's name.
You had one of the greatest moments in Ohio State history. Minute, 2 pass catches, one for a touchdown, and then a hit on the kickoff, the following kickoff. Was that crazy to you?
It was. I'm not gonna lie, it was. And I would just say the team, and I love these guys. So with my legs empty, with all that, like none of that matters. I'm throwing that to the side. It's all for the team and for the glory of God. And I would say that like I just told the reporters, it's a testament to Coach Day, it's a testament to Coach Hart, Coach Mick. They just put us in the positions to succeed. So that's all I was. I was in my position doing what I've been coached to do. So.
I will go to the far left. Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, a lot's just been made of the connection that you've got with Jackson. I know you've got faith in all your receivers, but for you, given the connection you have with Jackson, when you lose that, how does that maybe impact you and maybe your approach out there?
Yeah, I mean, like X said, man, he's the best receiver in the country, and excuse me, we built a connection, not just on the field but off, that helps us on the field. So, I mean, when he was out the game, of course, I mean, it affects our team. Affects our offense, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at it, we got the job done. So, X stepped up huge, JB stepped up huge, Emeka had a hell of a game, Marv played well. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look and you boil it down, man, you look at the scoreboard, and Coach Day always says that, man, like, no matter what type of game it is, we always got to stick together. So, I mean, I feel like that's what we did, and no matter how I played or whatever the case may be, we got the win. And it's one of us against the number 5 team in the country. Kudos to Notre Dame. They did some good things, and that's a really tough first game. So at the end of the day, I'm super proud of my guys, and I think that, I mean, we're a tough team. We're going to keep proving that.
Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Mike, we heard about you during training camp that you had really made a leap. What was it that enabled you to do that, and how special was it for you to make the impact you did tonight?
You said what?
I said during training camp, we heard that you had really grown a lot and made a lot of strides. What did it feel like tonight to make an impact the way you did?
I just want to thank God first off, and then I just felt like I just came out there and played my hardest and just gave it my all, I heard I was starting by Coach Jay just a couple of days before the game, so I really just took that to heart and just came out and just gave it my all.
Go over here to the left, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Mike, you guys didn't allow any points in the second half and shut them out. What was the key, especially kind of coming out of halftime and playing the way you did the last 2 quarters?
Just do exactly what we did in the first half, just try to stop the run. That's what Coach Mick always preaches about in the weight room and on and off the field. Just stop the run, just stop the run. So I feel like that's what we did well.
We'll go over here to the far right. Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1, The Fan.
Xavier, I'm sure that this is something that you've dreamed about a lot of times. How realistic throughout your years here did you think that it could be that you could do that? Then to realize something you probably thought about so many times, what did it feel like tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely from Jump Street. I came in and I was confident in myself. And coming in, I was expecting to shock the world. As a freshman, everybody does. They come in and they got all these high hopes and expectations. But I would say that kind of just part of my testimony, like the Lord kind of I feel like he took football away from me for a second, and he gave it back in a way that I could glorify him. So like you said, it was countless nights where, I was thinking about throwing in the towel some nights. There was nights where I felt like I had a foot out the door, but I always relied on my faith and prayer and to see where exactly I was supposed to be. And I never felt the Lord lead me to leave. And so just kind of seeing, how it came full circle, it's just a testament to his faithfulness. In that moment, it was all I could think about was just how good the Lord really is. That's literally it. Like, I was overcome with emotion, but it was emotion from the standpoint of, like, I'm glorifying the Lord right now, and I'm in the right position. So I don't know if that really answered your question, but that's what was going through my mind. Like, all I could think about was how good the Lord was. So.
And we're going to wrap up here. Far left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, you ran a lot tonight, but a lot of it was scrambling, or most of it was scrambling. I'm guessing you don't get that kind of pressure in practice a lot. How do you make that adjustment in a game when they're in your face and maybe you aren't having to scramble like that preseason?
Yeah, it definitely an adjustment, but I think my O-line did really well in pass protection. I mean, sometimes it happens. They seep through, and maybe I got to drop back a little farther, give them a little room so I can see the field a little better. But at the end of the day, I feel like they did a great job up front. Luke did a great job setting the IDs, making our protection calls, trying to make sure that everything was set and straightforward. So I think maybe we can just be more efficient in the pass game early on, set our rhythm early. I think we didn't get a rhythm to the very end. So that's on my part, though. I mean, I got to play better. At the end of the day, I'm still excited. I'm still happy, man. We're 1-0 against Notre Dame, number 5 team in the country. So.
Grinding it out just like the entire team did, where you're not used to having to, run like that toward the sideline and throw. I mean, are you kind of?
I mean, I've been doing that my whole life. I don't really think that it's anything new. I mean, I'm willing to put my head on the chopping board, man, to get a win for this team, because I mean, it just means so much to everybody. So, and it means so much to me just to get a win. So, I mean, if that means I got to run around and do a little Patrick Mahomes or whatever the case may be, I'll do that. So, I mean, I'm just super excited, super blessed from God, man. Without him, I would never be in these shoes. So, I mean, I just appreciate him, and I'm going to do everything I got to do to get a W.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, we're going to open up over here with Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette, for Coach Jim Knowles.
How satisfied are you with where your defense is at and the way they played? Obviously, first time, still a lot to learn, but how satisfied are you?
I'm really happy for the players. We had a play here or there that we gave up, but what I'm most pleased with is the fact that they never flinched. They've bought into everything that I've been asking them to do, and one or two, bad plays or misplays, it didn't affect them at all. I saw a great focus, and that's a big deal. And I think you saw guys playing fast too. The fits were really good. Notre Dame does a lot with the pulling tight ends and things that create different gaps, and I thought you saw our guys really fitting things for the most part all night really well.
Over here to the right, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Jim, just Lathan Ransom, you've been raving about him the last several times we got to talk to you. Voila, right? I mean, he went in, I think, in the second series and basically had never left, or if he did, only for a few plays, but just what jumped out at you about him and him living up to basically what you were talking about?
Yeah, we saw that in him all camp. I like to say he's one of those guys that can see the forest through the trees, and then he's able to read the play and react with speed. When you have a group of safeties who can do that, it fixes a lot of problems, because what you guys don't see, all the shifts, the motions, or the pulls. When you play in this system as a safety, you're the guy that's fitting that, and I think it's just really worked out well with Lathan, because that's his talent. I mean, his talent is seeing a play, diagnosing, and reacting, and he's not afraid to get after it and take the shot, and that's a big deal.
Over here to the left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Jim, just to clarify, Lathan didn't start. Was there any kind of injury issue with Josh or anything, or did you just decide to keep Lathan in the game?
Yeah, we have a lot of good players, so, I mean, Lathan seemed hot, That's kind of how I do it. We like to have guys game ready. We felt he was game ready. When a guy's game ready and he gets a shot and gets in there, then you just start, playing the hot hand. You go with what works, and that's what we did with Lathan.
And I know you had said, you've been in the box, you've been on the sideline before. You knew what you were going to do today, but what was your decision-making process on deciding to be upstairs, and then how'd you feel up there watching this defense do its thing?
Yeah, I mean, the decision-making was helped a lot by the quality of assistant coaches that we have on defense. So you kind of look at the staff, and the fact too that I was able to bring some, quality control and those kind of guys in from Oklahoma State and Duke, so they understood that they know the defense from the jump. So, but we just have a lot of good guys that I felt comfortable with, a lot of knowledgeable professional coaches, and if I can feel comfortable with that, I'm going to go upstairs, because that's where I see everything, and I'm able to see formations as they develop, and and make calls, and that makes us all better.
Over here to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Jim, they average only 3.5 yards per carry, not counting sacks, and
The sacks count, don't they come off the rushing total?
2.5 with that.
Okay,
2.5 with that.
let's go with 2.5.
And Tyler Butler, I think, started 8 for 8 or something like that, but only 2 for whatever the rest of the game. What adjustments did you make in the passing game, and what would you want to say about your run defense?
I mean, I think, like I said, I think our run defense was stout, really controlled the line of scrimmage. Our guys up front, we thought that was going to be a strength. Really pleased, like I said, with all the pull plays, shifting of formations, motions, that our linebackers and safeties were able to see it all. And, I mean, coming into our first game, they saw a lot in terms of the run game fits, And that just gives everybody confidence, right? It gives the fans confidence. It gives the team confidence, no matter how the offense is doing or whatever's going on. When you see guys just showing up in the right places, everybody's like, okay, it may not look exceptional, but it wins games. So I was really pleased with that.
We're going to stay over here to the right, Matt Fortuna, The Athletic.
Hi, Jim. I know it's only one game and there's a lot of improvement to be done the rest of the season, but how do you deliver that message home with this group after they hold the number 5 team in the country to 10 points?
We go through the process. I know that's a thing that coaches say, but you go through the process. You celebrate the win. At least the players do. I don't think I will really move on to the next, but that's our job as coaches. Give them time to celebrate it. Then when they come back, right, we break it down in detail, and it's the process, right? But it's a matter of confidence and leadership. It's a matter of they expected this. Our players expected this. I expected this. So, when they come in tomorrow, we're able to show them why it worked, how it worked. You just start giving them that added motivation and confidence. But we expected this on defense. So I'm pleased and happy for them. But I'm not surprised. We expected it.
Got time for just a few more. Over here to the left, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Jim, as far as Jack Sawyer at the Jack spot, how do you think he did tonight? And just how would you assess the impact that position had overall?
I think it was good, mostly in the running game. We were able to put him at different spots. We got to continue to work on it. There's a lot more we can do. And just getting him to see the formation and recognize the formation, it's a really big deal. And that he can think like me, because it creates issues for the offense. So I thought it was effective. But we did not really do much with it tonight. I mean, there's still a lot of things that we haven't shown. Tonight we were rather basic, and I wanted to keep it that way for the players so they could play fast and not worry about making mistakes. So I was pleased with it. It worked. There's still a lot more work for us to do and a lot more of the package to develop.
Over here to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
Jim, that first play probably didn't go exactly the way that you dreamed it up. You've been doing this long enough that I'm sure that you didn't overreact or panic to it, but you probably wanted to see how your defense would respond to that on the field. What did you make of that early sequence, and what did you take away from it?
Great, yeah. It built a lot of confidence. We talk about explosive plays. That was one of them. We say, I say 5 or less, and they say undefeated. But when I look back at the history of Ohio State with our offense, it's really more like 7 or 8 or less but I don't tell them that. I tell them 5. So when I've kind of programmed them that, okay, they're going to happen. 1 or 2 here, fade ball, contested throw, they're going to happen. So they've been trained and they've bought in from the beginning that, those may happen, but all we do is turn up more steam. It's kind of, I've built it into the process that they know that could happen.
Over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
Ryan Day talked a lot, Coach, about toughness. You always brag about being from Philly and being tough. Is toughness the best thing you can say about a defense, and did you think they displayed that tonight?
I thought they definitely display toughness, and that's physical and mental. Control the line of scrimmage, control the running game, being able to perform under duress to fit the different runs. I think when anybody looks at a defense, you're going to say toughness, right? I mean, to me, that's all part of the confidence, right? I mean, fans, Coach Day, everybody wants to see, okay, whatever it takes to get our offense going, the defense is going to be tough. They're going to be there. And I know he believes in that. And this is a great first showing for that. We can build on it.
Over here to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Jim, I don't know if it's your decision or Larry's about who starts up front, but what did you see out of Mike Hall during camp that allowed him to start to play as much as he did, and how does he change things for you guys up there?
He's just been totally disruptive during camp, and we get feedback from our offensive linemen. I have a great relationship with those guys, and they'll tell you how difficult he is. If you ask the guys on your team, and these are big-time offensive linemen, if you ask them, they'll tell you who's the hardest guy to block, and Mike Hall certainly was that. So we saw it all along, and he deserved that. It was great to see him go off tonight.
And final question, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Jim, when you have to go against a tight end like Michael, when you have to scheme for that and really try to make sure that he's not the one beating you, how difficult is that when it's a tight end, that kind of position, and how do you think that you guys did against him tonight?
It's really difficult, right, because it's hard sometimes to get doubles on that guy. I thought we did decent. I mean, he's going to be in a lot of one-on-one matchups, and we had our guys ready to play that. But they were aware. One ball down the seam on the play action. I thought we did and I did, because I always tell the guys on Saturday that all their mistakes are mine. So I did a poor job of getting him covered on that one. But otherwise, you saw like at the end there, right? It wasn't Steele underneath him, and somebody else was over the top. So that's we had been programming that all week, and I think you saw it play out in that last drive when Steele knocked the ball away, and we had a under-over on him.
And final question, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman. Okay, we're good. Coach, we're good. Good job. Congrats. It is late. All right, that'll wrap it up for tonight, folks.